No matter what age your child is, you want the best for their future. What do they want to do after graduation? What career path do they want to take? These questions can be overwhelming. That's why you should ask them this question. What's your E? Seminole County Public Schools ePathway program is designed for your student to choose their own path in life from as many options as we can offer. Whether they're looking to enlist, enroll, or be employed, we're excited to help you and your child make it happen. Want them to enroll in a college or university? We'll help you find the best school for them to continue their education. Learn about grants and programs to help your child obtain their degree at a pace and a cost that works for you both. Are they looking to go straight into employment? Discover a variety of trades and skills that will propel their future. They can learn aviation maintenance, automotive repair, culinary arts, and more to hone their talents in growing industries. Is your child interested in enlistment? We'll help them find the right path of service, whether it's military, law enforcement, fire response, or EMS. They can serve the community while learning skills that will last a lifetime. What's your E? Explore options with ePathways by visiting us online at the link below.
What inspired me to get into engineering was Lego. So I started as a kid, as most kids do, working with Legos and just kind of doing your own thing, building the Lego sets, and I would often take apart my Lego sets, mix them together, and build something completely new. Then in about 4th grade, I was introduced to Lego robotics, which is where you have a actual robot that you could program, and you start with this brick, and that would feed information to Lego motors, and it would all communicate as a system, and you could do a lot of really cool robotic tasks with that. And that was really the start of me looking into engineering. The engineering I'm looking to pursue at first is mechanical engineering. This is what I'm going to go to UCF for, and this is going to be the start of my career. A mechanical engineer can really do anything. They work with a lot of thermodynamics and a lot of vibrations and really just anything that moves. So a lot of fields use mechanical engineering. I want to go past that and specialize into biomedical engineering, which is more along the lines of surgical robotics and medical machinery. I want to develop surgical robots, and with that I need to know exactly how the human body functions and how it functions with robotic systems. Essentially, I'll be able to design a system where a person will be able to communicate with a motor and hopefully improve their quality of life, whether this be through a surgical robot that a doctor is controlling or whether it's a prosthetic that's motorized.
I taught Josh his freshman year. He was so good with that inventor material. He picked up on it very quickly. He was ready to jump in and help other students, which I really, really appreciated. And he has carried those characteristics with him as he has moved through the program. And now with his journey moving forward in bioengineering, I can't wait to see what he's going to make with his knee brace and the orthotics that he's trying to produce.
The current prosthetic I'm looking at developing is a load-bearing knee brace in which I'm going to take a motor or servo and attach that to the knee, which will enable a person to be able to push past what their muscles currently are able to do, whether that be because of muscle fatigue or osteoarthritis in the kneecap where they're not able to put a lot of pressure on their knee. Current knee braces really only work when walking. There's still a lot of pain when there's extra forces being applied to the knee, such as walking upstairs or standing up from sitting down. Things you and I normally don't think about, but for someone that has severe arthritis in their knee, this is hugely painful.
The strongest advantages of project-based learning, that hands-on experience that allows you to manipulate that material, really solidifies in the brain exactly how those things work.
The thing I would say about this program where it exceeds the most is the more you use it, the more it'll benefit you.
Good evening, everyone. If you could kindly have a seat. Thank you so much. Good evening. I would like to call the July 23rd meeting to order. It is currently 5:30 p.m. and I'm going to have the invocation and pledge led by Member Davis.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good evening. Today the board comes with grateful hearts. We appreciate the opportunity to serve and support all of our students. As we begin the new school year, it's only about 3 weeks to go. I want to recognize the efforts of our teachers, of our staff, of our administration. Despite the summer break, our work here had not been done. Everything that we needed to do to prepare has been done by our staff and administration. Our teachers have been hard at work preparing for the new year. And I also want to thank our parents, our caregivers, our guardians, our community. Even though it's been summer and a lot of our students think that that's the break, for the parents and the guardians who have especially small children and even teenagers who need to go from place to place while you're working, it's been extremely hard for the parents as well. A lot of us are thanking the goodness of the world here that we're going back to school. I know that we've enjoyed our children, but as I said, it has been very difficult when you have other things to do. I think our kids are getting excited for the new school year. A lot of kids by the end of the summer are bored. They've done their activities in the beginning of the summer. Now they're ready to go back and hang out with their friends. Not necessarily pick up the books, but a lot of our kids are motivated to do that as well. As we enter this new school year, I want to ask two things. I want to ask for the spirit of cooperation and the spirit of kindness to guide our actions and our decisions. I hope that we will work together with understanding and respect, visiting and valuing each voice and perspective for the betterment of our students and the community. I hope that we foster an environment where everyone feels supported and encouraged, where challenges are met with collective strength and compassion, and where our commitment to education and kindness towards one another come first. I know we have a lot of kids in our audience, and for us kids at heart, I have a quick little poem to read, and it's called Back to School. Some kids are smarter than you. Some kids are better at sports. Some kids have cooler clothes. It doesn't matter. You have your thing too. Be the kid who laughs, the kid who is generous. Be the kid who is happy for others. Be the kid who does the right thing. Be anything you want, but always be the nice kid.
That was beautiful. Thank you. Want to go ahead and
Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Member Davis. That was absolutely beautiful and extremely well needed for everyone to hear. So I appreciate your kind words and about everybody. Being kind is something that takes a lot less energy than being mean. So, of course, we say that a frown takes more muscles than a smile. So, thank you. Acknowledgements today. I have one acknowledgement. I'd like to welcome our Seminole County PTA board member, Katie Murphy. Where is she at? I just saw her before. Oh, you moved. You're back there. Thank you for being here, Katie. The record reflect that our board members that are in attendance today are Member Pennick, Member Davis, Member Garrick, Vice Chair Kraus, myself, and our attorney, Ms. Carlene Cole-Palmer, our superintendent, Superintendent Sarita Beeman, and our clerk, Ms. Jill Moramis. Thank you. So let the record reflect that all are in attendance. All right. Superintendent.
Yes, the addendum for a good cause is marked on our electronic agenda by a green flag named addendum item.
Thank you. School board members, as I said before, roll call order for today's Member Pennick, Member Davis, Member Garrick, Vice Chair Kraus, and then myself. Member Pennick, do you have any modifications?
No, ma'am.
All right. Member Davis? No modifications? Thank you. Member Garrick?
No modifications, Chair.
Thank you. Vice Chair Kraus?
No modifications, Chairman.
Thank you. And I have no modifications as well. Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the agenda as read?
So moved.
All right. Which one beat you? Who?
I don't know.
You got them up? Okay. So who made the motion? And we'll take one of you
Second.
as second.
Sure.
Perfect. So Vice, you have it? Perfect. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Superintendent, do we have any presentations?
Yes, we do. We have a number, and we'll get started with Dr. Anna Marie Cody here to talk about a very special award for Minnie Cardona.
Yay.
Good evening, Superintendent Beeman and board members. It's my great honor to present Miss Minnie Cardona with the B. Paul's Diversity Educator Award. Ms. Cardona, please join the board. In June 2011, in honor of the co-founder and president of the Sanibel Leadership Association, Beatrice K. Pauls, the executive board established the statewide B. Pauls Diversity Educator Award. Each year, one educational leader is selected from the 67 districts in Florida and recognized for his or her commitment and dedication to making a difference in the lives of English language learners. On Friday, June 25th, 2024, Ms. Minnie Cardona, Seminole County Public Schools Director of ESOL, Dual Languages, World Languages, and Student Access, was recognized and presented with the B. Paul's Diversity Educator Award during the 44th Annual Sanibel Leadership Conference. Congratulations, Ms. Cardona, well deserved.
Good evening, Superintendent and school board members. Tonight, I am so happy to recognize two outstanding partners for their contributions to our students in Seminole County Public Schools. We want our students to be inspired by the arts because we know it encourages creativity, problem solving, and just helps us have a more vibrant community. I would like to say a big thank you to Sanford Porch Fest, who's donating $25,000 to support the arts in Seminole County Public Schools. Thank you so much. This funding will provide 6 college scholarships to high school students who are low income to attend school and study the arts. It will support our classroom grant program in the area of arts. And finally, it'll help provide transportation for our elementary school students to attend the Young People's Concert, which is an amazing program that I know is very much well loved. I would like to welcome up the Porch Fest Board of Directors, AKA the producers. We have Shelley Allen, co-founder, vice president, and communications officer. Kim Waters, co-founder, President and Community Relations Officer, Shanna Gorandy, Co-founder and Brand Management Officer, and Nancy Sepulveda, Co-founder and Governance Officer. Thank you for your support of the arts. Thank you, ladies. Next, I would like to recognize the HCA Healthcare Foundation's Healthier Tomorrow Fund and the team from HCA Florida. A big thank you for their Career Pathways to a Healthier Florida grant, which is $60,000, $20,000 a year over the course of 3 years to grow health careers for our students. Thank you so much. We are very excited about this. This funding will help us prepare students for employment in allied health careers by expanding the program at the Academy of Health Careers at Seminole High School. It will focus on high-need and job-ready certifications like CNA, CMA, and CPCT Tech, with both in-classroom instruction and hands-on learning. Thank you for your partnership and for not only funding our foundation, but statewide providing $1 million to 15 education foundations across the state. I would like to welcome up, in addition to the HCA, Sean Gard-Harold with ePathways for all his work on this project and his team. From HCA Florida, we have Denise Kendust, AVP Community and Engagement for HCA Florida, North Florida Division. You can come on up, yeah. Erin Abbott, Communications and Community Engagement Director at HCA Florida, Lake Monroe Hospital. Kathy Perry, Communications and Community Engagement Director at Oviedo Medical Center. And Stacy Watkins, Chief Nursing Officer at HCA Florida, Lake Monroe Hospital. Thank you for helping our students be ready for careers in the healthcare industry. We appreciate it.
Ms. Beeman and board members, we have several administrative introductions tonight. We'd like to start off with Cyan Small, Assistant Principal at Spring Lake Elementary. Come on up, Mrs. Smalls. Cyan earned both her bachelor's and master's degree from the University of Florida, focusing on elementary education and special education. Later, Mrs. Smalls pursued an additional master's degree at Stetson University, deepening her expertise in educational leadership. Before transitioning into the role of an instructional reading coach, Mrs. Smalls worked as an intermediate reading teacher, improving literacy across outcomes for students at both Pinecrest Elementary and Castleberry Elementary. She is excited to join the Spring Lake family as the new assistant principal. Family members in attendance at the board meeting tonight with Mrs. Small is Mother Camille Lawson and brother Brandon Smith. Come on up. Also joining them is Principal Debbie Jose from Spring Lake. Thank you. Next, I would like to introduce the new principal at Wicklow Elementary School, Dr. Danielle Keast-Alchin. Come on up, Mrs. Alchin. Danielle obtained her doctorate and master's degree in educational leadership at University of Central Florida and her undergraduate at Greensboro College in North Carolina. She has worked as a teacher in preschool and has taught all subjects in grades 3 through 5. Danielle has been a math coach, a science coach, an instructional coach, and testing coordinator. Additionally, Danielle has served as an administrative dean at middle school and has been an assistant principal at 3 different schools. With her in attendance tonight is her husband, Mr. David Alchin, her children, Adriana and Marshall Alchin, her parents, Judge John Keast and Judge Sally Keast. Come on up, family members. Congratulations, Dr. Alchin. Thank you.
Board members and Ms. Beeman, we'd like to congratulate the new Midway School of the Arts Assistant Principal, Timothy Van Hoven. Mr. Van Hoven began his career at Castleberry Elementary as a long-term substitute in kindergarten and second grade, which led to a permanent position as a 5th grade teacher. He has also served as a media specialist, educational technology facilitator, and math and science coach. Most recently, he has served as the science coach at Midway Elementary. Family members in attendance are his wife, Kelly, and daughters, Emmy and Ella, and a large contingency of people, including his principal, Mallory Lambert, and other school staff. Congratulations, Mr. Van Hoven. All right, the next congratulations go to the new Parton Elementary principal, Michelle Ortiz. Ms. Ortiz has been in education for over 25 years and has been with Seminole County Schools for 16 years. She has previously served as a teacher of grades kindergarten through 6, an instructional coach, a school administration manager, and assistant principal. She received her bachelor's degree from the University of Northern Colorado and master's degree in ed leadership from the American College of Education. Her husband is attending tonight, Adolfo, and daughter Eva and son Joseph. They would come up. She's also supported by her assistant principal, Jeffrey Townsend. Congratulations to Mrs. Ortiz.
Board members and Ms. Beeman, it's my pleasure to introduce the newest assistant principal at Forest City Elementary, Ms. Mary Gangwish. Mary has been an educator for over 20 years and has had the honor of serving our most vulnerable students in the classroom and advocating for them as a general education teacher prior to becoming an ESE teacher in Seminole County. She then spent 7 years as a behavior specialist and school-based staffing resource specialist nearby prior to coming back to Seminole County to work at Evans Elementary as the school administrator manager. She attended the University of Central Florida, where she received her bachelor's degree in elementary ed, also attended St. Leo University, earning a master's in exceptional student education, and later the University of West Florida, earning her second master's degree in educational leadership. She's joined tonight by her mother and stepfather, Shelley and Kurt Mottram, and her daughters, Joey and Maylee Gangwish. Come on up. And she, too, has her new principal, Mr. Joe Avellino, in the crowd, her prior principal, prior AP, and also a wonderful array. Come on down. You know, we talked all about connections, right, at our leadership conference, and we see these connections as all our school families celebrate their peers' success. Please let me introduce Jennifer Fennell, the new assistant principal at Rainbow Elementary School. Ms. Fennell's education background began in Seminole County as a junior intern from UCF. She then taught 15 years at Stenstrom Elementary in 3rd and 4th grade. After completing her master's degree, she spent the last 2 years as a math and science coach at Forest City Elementary and is excited to be a part of the Rainbow team. With her tonight is her husband, Quinu Fennell, her son and daughter, Isaiah and Sophia Fennell, and her new principal, Christy Marshall, and her former principal, Joe Avellino. Congratulations. Next, I'm proud to introduce Ms. Kelly Cashin as the new principal at, what school is that? I guess that's Sterling Park Elementary School we're hearing over there. Ms. Cashin is a graduate of Seminole County Public Schools and is excited to enter her 23rd year as a new principal at Sterling Park. She was an assistant principal for 5 years at Millwee, Jackson Heights, and Tuscaloosa Middle Schools before working as the coordinator of leadership pathways for 3 years, supporting all levels of teachers and administrators. Ms. Cashin just finished her 4th year as AP at Spring Lake Elementary School, also in the house, and she is looking forward to an amazing school year with the student, staff, and community of Sterling Park Elementary. Go Eagles. With Ms. Cashin are her mother, Marie Cashin, her father, Bill Cashin, and her brother, Jeff. Her daughter, Haley, is living her best life at sleepaway camp right now. But Haley is a rising middle schooler to Indian Trails, right? Okay, entourage, get in there quickly. Let's go, quick, entourage. I think we've started a dangerous new trend. Again, connections. Okay. Board, we've still got a few more, and Ms. Beeman, I'm now proud to introduce Dr. Rob Vanderloop, the new principal at Stenstrom Elementary School. Dr. Robert Vanderloop is proud to be the principal at Stenstrom Elementary. Prior to this position, he was the Director of Intervention Services in Seminole County. In Wisconsin, he spent 7 years serving as the Director of Pupil Services in the Glenwood City School District and as the Principal and Director of Special Education for the Independent School District. He has also served as an elementary principal for the Chippewa Falls School District. He holds a BA in English and Theater Education, a Master's in Administrative Leadership, and a Doctorate in Organizational Change and Leadership from the University of Southern California. With him tonight is his wife, Erica, daughters Josephine and Hadley, and his son, Asher, and I see his assistant principal and other great colleagues in the crowd.
Okay, last but certainly not least, I am proud to introduce our new Director of Exceptional Student Education, Miss Julene McDonald. Julene's passion to pursue a career in exceptional student education developed through her experiences growing up with her sister Terry, who had Down syndrome. She had spent her entire career in Seminole County Public Schools and has been dedicated to working with students with disabilities. She taught students with intellectual disabilities at the middle and high school levels, and during that time, she was given the opportunity to be part of opening the new Winter Springs High School, where she was recognized as the 2003 Teacher of the Year. She entered the next phase of her career as dean and then an assistant principal at the high school level. During that time, she was given another opportunity to be part of opening our newest high school, Haggerty High. A highlight to her career was being recognized as Seminole County's Assistant Principal of the Year in 2014-15. She joined the Student Support Services Department in 2018 and has served as an area administrator for the ESC division. She is joined by her sister Kathy tonight. No mascots. Congratulations, Julie. I hate having my picture taken.
Y'all drive safely. Have an amazing school year.
Uh-oh.
Kelly, do you need? We're doing school first. We've got some. Okay. It dries out my skin so bad.
I know, me too. Thank you.
You got some?
I did, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I love when the whole team.
Y'all drive safely. That's so old. Ooh. Why did my alarm just go off in my house?
Chair, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay.
All right, sorry, we're ready.
Freeman and board members, as we would like to share with you tonight just an overview of our summer programs. We'd like to start off sharing a little bit of information about VPK and Kid Zone. VPK summer programs are in full swing, and they continue to provide high-quality instruction until July 30th. Our current summer sites include the Early Learning Center, Lake Mary Elementary, and Redbug Elementary. Our state class observations have been completed, and all of our summer site lead teachers have received passing scores. We have 33 students enrolled. PM scores continue to climb, and students continue to improve. The second PM will be given at the end of summer learning camp for these students. VPK camp. And then STEM camps were also held earlier this year. We had 75 students participate. Those camps were held June 3rd through June 13th. And we had select students invited from Castleberry and Lake Orienta. For kinder camp, we have 16 Title I sites serving our students this year from July 15th through the 25th. So we have 2 additional days of kinder camp remaining. Our current enrollment is 369 of our new entering kindergartners for the 24-25 school year. These students have an opportunity to be on their campuses to kick off their school year with a positive kindergarten experience. The elementary kinder camp sites this year were Altamont, Bentley, Castleberry, Eastbrook, English Estates, Forest City, Hamilton, Highlands, Idlewild, Lake Orienta, Longwood, Midway, Pinecrest, Spring Lake, Winter Springs, and Wicklow. A big shout out to our principals and APs and teachers who volunteered to work and support all of our students through these wonderful summer opportunities. And I look forward to sharing the results from Kinder Camp and VPK with you at the end of the summer and the beginning of the school year. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, board members and superintendent. Are we clicking ourselves? Oh. There we go. We had something for pretty much every category of student this year at our elementary schools. At every single elementary school, with one school, Lawton, due to construction, was on the Stenstrom campus, but every single elementary school had programs either funded through traditional operating funds or through ESSER funds for students at every grade level. Our traditional programs included our summer learning camp that we have every year for our third graders who score a level 1 on their FAST, and we're giving them that additional opportunity for extended learning to try to make that next step as they try to go into 4th grade, and we had that at every school. That was the entire month of June. We had over almost 400 students served, and we did have some students who after summer learning camp are moving on to 4th grade, so that was a great opportunity for them. We also have, in partnership with Ms. Elwood's department, our extended school year for those students with disabilities who qualify, and that included students with a range of disabilities, including our most medically fragile students at 6 of our school sites. And then we also, through Ms. Cardona's funding, have every year ELL newcomers for students who are in their first year here in the U.S., and she had over 80 students at Wicklow Elementary School receiving wonderful support, and I bet they got the preview of the Student Success Express. In addition to our traditional programs, we also had ESSER-funded programs for students in rising 1st through 3rd graders. That was our literacy camp. That was the full 4 weeks of June, plus a day of in-person and additional at-home learning the week before that. So they actually had kind of 4.5 weeks. We served almost 900 students in that program, and that was a 5-to-1 ratio, so really, really tight ratio to help support those early learners. We also had the National Summer School Initiative program for our rising 4th and 5th graders. Again, on every campus the full month of June, we had over 700 students participate in that program. And we also had the 2-week program for RAMP students for those rising 4th and 5th graders, either first-time 4th grade RAMP students or those who didn't do it in 4th grade but are going to take that next step in 5th grade. And we had over 800 students participating in that for just from the ESSER-funded group alone, over 2,300 students. So something for everyone. Thank you.
Woo!
Good evening, board members.
Good evening.
So Kids Zone, they had their own summer camp. The theme was Expect the Unexpected. It began on May 28th, and it will wrap up at the end of this week on the 26th. There were 400 students at 4 sites, 400 K through 5 students. They were at Lake Mary, Redbug, Spring Lake, and Stenstrom. They participated in STEM activities, arts and crafts, board games, water games. There was a weekly theme. Some of those examples were The Amazing Race, There's No Place Like Space. They did take weekly field trips, and some of those examples there are Gatorland, the Marine Science Center. They took a ride on the Sunrail train, and they went to the Apopka splash pad. And then there's some photos there to show you some of their smiling faces. Also, a shout out to Yvette Hartsfield. She's the director of Kids Zone, and her staff that pulls all of this off.
Awesome. Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
This summer, we had 907 students participate in the National Summer School Initiative for rising 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. During those activities, students were engaged in close reading and novel studies, along with math foundations and problem-solving activities. All right. Those events happened during the entire month of June for the 16 days. We also, during 16 days in the month of June, hosted the Middle School Algebra 1 boost camps. Those were for students who were planning to retake the algebra end of course exam this summer in July. We actually had 43 students pass that retake last week. And it's also for students who are rising 7th and 8th graders who are enrolling in the course for the 24-25 school year to give them some early introduction to some of the coursework and to review some of their prerequisite skills to get them set up for success for the upcoming school year. We also hosted Ramp Camp at our campuses where students are engaged in the first unit of core content for the accelerated 7th grade math course for those rising 6th graders. They also were engaged in a Rube Goldberg STEM project, which is pretty much creating and designing a simple machine to perform a very basic task in the most complicated way. And so it's very exciting to see students engaged in that activity. This summer, the ePathways Department also hosted the Cyber Patriot Camp at Sanford Middle School, South Seminole Academy, and Tuscaloosa Middle Schools. We had 132 students participate in this experience, which was aimed to foster their cybersecurity skills and expose them to this career pathways and the cybersecurity programs at Crims Academy of Information Technology and Lake Howell High School. This camp was funded by the Pathways to Careers Opportunities Grant. Students also had the opportunity to take the ICT Cybersecurity Digital Tool Exam, and we achieved a 74% pass rate with those students. And I would like to add that this was greatly supported by the mentorship from industry experts at Lockheed Martin, Seminole State College, SCPS Cybersecurity, and HACK UCF members.
Thank you.
All right, for our high schools, we served approximately 2,300 students throughout the summer over 4 different programs. We had our traditional programs with summer school where we had credit recovery opportunity for our students who had failed a class and needed to earn credit for that class. I want to give you a little bit of history of the last couple of years and the work that we've been doing to try to ensure that students pass the course the first time and not have to take that credit recovery. You can see over the last 3 summers we've gone from that 1,656 down to 1,624. And we are down even more this summer to 1,436 students that enrolled in summer school. So we are working very hard. We had a 4% decrease in D's and F's this past year in our classes, so working to help those kids to get across the line the first time. Summer Expedition, we continue to have success with that program in its second year. The class of 2028 came in, our 8th to 9th grade transition program with our at-risk students that is held in all campuses. We had a 16-day program with about 360 students, so very similar to what we had the previous year in our first year of the Summer Expedition program, all focused on that, helping the students understand what's happening after and what they can work towards after high school, and using our What's Your E campaign with employment, enrollment, and enlistment. We had the ethos component where they're thinking about learning to be the best student that they can be. We took them on 2 excursions this year to Dr. Phillips Center and the Sheriff's Office Physical Training course, so very exciting opportunities and different opportunities for the different students to explore the arts and technical side of things, and then go and do a little more physical and seeing what the enlistment sides hold for them. And of course, they still have that Seminole State College scholarship for them after the 4 years of graduating. We had 2 new camps this year. Well, one kind of new with the ESSER grant-funded programs. Those 2 camps are the State Assessment Boost Camp, and we held that at all campuses in 2 different sessions, one in June and then a very short one, test prep, in July, right before our summer testing that took place last week. Very focused on test prep in each of those boost camps. And I will tell you that we had 202 10th graders that earned their ELA graduation requirement last week, so we're very proud of that. Another 43 Algebra 1 and 19 of the geometry students. So that is quite a few more students that now have that graduation requirement as a result of this program and summer testing. We had a college preparation camp, and I want to thank Dr. Rachel Menta over at Lake Brantley High School, assistant principal, who helped to organize this. And we've heard for years that our students are always asking in that 11th grade year, what do I need to do to be prepared for college? And so we put together a program that actually started at Oviedo 2 years ago. They had kind of given us a shell of an idea. And you can see here that they had the rising 12th graders that were on campus for 4 days. They looked at different things with how to write their resume, how to craft that personal essay for the college exam, looking at Zello and getting an account for Zello to think about their future, as well as many other things to help them prepare for college and application process and beyond that. So very exciting. We think we have a great idea and a great concept that we want to continue to explore further with our students. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
So along with our traditional extended school year opportunities for our students that served over 300 students in traditional programming, Student Support Services runs a 3-party vendor program through vocational rehabilitation. And so this summer, just like last summer, we were able to do some career opportunity camps for our students with disabilities. The first one was a work-based learning experience camp, and so these are career camp experiences that were weekly opportunities that students could register and sign up for. They went out into community businesses and got a look at different opportunities with different businesses to earn some skills and try out what they might like to explore further during the school year. So that was really great, and I want to thank all of our business partners and our teachers that volunteered to come out into the community with our students and experience that, some of them for the first time. They were great. So we had 13 local businesses, as you can see here, that stepped up and opened their spaces to our students with disabilities and really dug in and taught them those skills. So that was great, and their partnerships that we will continue into the school year. Our other opportunity was really fantastic, and that was a collaboration between our team and our career and technical education teams on our high school campuses. And so these were week-long camps where they got to participate in culinary, barbering, automotive, construction, and they got to really learn about those skills. They were fantastic in those courses. The teachers really enjoyed having our students in there. And then on the last day of camp, they got to go out into the community and take a field trip and see how those skills are applied in real life. And they went on some amazing trips. So some of the trips that they got to do was when the students who were involved in TV production went to West 2 and were live on the news. So that was really exciting. They went to Paul Mitchell of Orlando from the barbering class and got to spend a day there working with them. The catering classes went to Arthur's Catering and got to see what culinary looks like in real life. So you can see here the barbering class also went to Floyd's Barbershop for the day. They went to Home Depot. It was fantastic. Construction sites, metalworks, and they really embraced our students and taught them what these jobs look like in the real world. So it was a wonderful camp experience for our students and teachers alike. We got great feedback from the students, great feedback from the teachers, and we hope to just continue to build and grow these programs. But we served over 600 students in both camps, so it was great.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Good evening, board members. Mr. Alba was called away for a family situation, but Mr. Alba led all of the work on the unique summer learning camps this year. And we were so grateful, Ms. Beeman. Thank you for making sure we had some of that remaining ESSER funding to offer these camps again. So these are opportunities that our teachers get together and create for our students in multiple areas of interest. And the camps always have to be standards aligned to make sure we're supporting all of the work that our academic camps are doing. And we make sure that our students have hands-on experiences. So as I said, these were ESSER-funded camps. We had 55 proposals submitted with the requirement that each of the camps be at least 4 days with a minimum of 15 students. And the assistant superintendents and Mr. Alba had the very difficult job of going through all of those proposals and selecting as many as we were able to fund because they were all really well done. So we offered 23 unique camps, and you can see where they were on the different campuses. And they included a wide range of topics: music, coding, robotics, STEM, college prep, lots of interesting opportunities for our students. And in these unique camps, we had 637 students participate. So board members, thank you for your support, superintendent, and all of the amazing opportunities that our students had this summer. And we know they're ready to come back to school. As you said, Ms. Davis, they're ready to have a great academic year. So that concludes our summer program overview.
Thank you. It's so exciting. So much to be proud of and to celebrate. We are so blessed. Thank you to everyone.
One more.
Yes.
Dr. Cody is going to do an overview of the assessment information that we have received. We understand that tomorrow the state board will address the cut scores, but we'll explain a little bit about what we know so far based on the information we have. Dr. Cody?
Yes. Thank you, Ms. Beeman, and board members. Thank you for all of your support for our amazing administrators, teachers, students, families. And you heard today how the community embraces our school system and helps to make sure we provide access and opportunities for our students. So as Ms. Beeman just shared, these are preliminary data points that we're looking at. We'll find out more about district grade and school grade after the state board meeting tomorrow. But we want to make sure that we share that Seminole County Public Schools is only one of 14 districts designated as academically high performing by the Florida Department of Education, and that's based on the most recent data available, and that also, up until this point, we have earned 19 A's out of the 20 years that school grades were given to districts. That is an unbelievable metric. So we'll very quickly go through some of the statewide assessment results regarding ranking. And I want to be sure we acknowledge that ranking includes all students tested. When we're calculating the school grades, the district grades, we look at accountability students who are here in Survey 2 and Survey 3. So it's a different population when we look at ranking. And in Seminole County, we're going to see some rankings in mathematics, and I would, if I may, take a little bit of time to explain those rankings due to our acceleration programs. All right, so let's take a quick look at this English language arts rankings. And board members, it's important, as you see, we're tracking our trends. We've done this for decades now because it's important to see how we compare with other districts, not just where we are. And we look at Central Florida districts, the 14 largest districts, and then all 67. The 14 largest districts are important to consider because some of the districts that may be ahead of us in the state ranking are very small districts, and they may have less students than we have at Seminole High School. And we're thrilled those kids are getting across the stage. That's what we all want, but it's a different challenge when you have large districts similar to Seminole County. So very quickly again, look at 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade. Number 1, Central Florida. Number 1, 14 largest. Top 6, all 67 districts. And in particular, this year, our 3rd grade students improved from 60 to 67% proficient. And that ranked us number 4 in the state. It's important not to look at these data and percentages and try to equate them to grades that students get. For example, 90 is an A, 80 plus is a B. That's not how this accountability system works. It's millions of students whose data are aggregated, and then the state gives us these metrics. So you have to really understand the data before you can draw conclusions or make comments about what that might mean. When we look at our middle school data, again, we're seeing it 6th, 7th, and 8th, 2nd and 3rd place in the state and in our 14 largest districts. and then flexibility in some of our state rankings. And high school, again, we have to celebrate. Look at that number 1 for 9th and 10th grade, Central Florida, 14 largest, top 8. They improved tremendously. Mr. Rice, thank you to your team. Every single high school improved in 9-10 ELA. Every single one. That only happens with a lot of hard work by our teachers, by our students, and support from so many to make that happen. When we look at math, and this is the one where I sometimes, and I understand why people say, oh my goodness, what's going on there? So look at 3rd, 4th, 6th, and 7th grade. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1. Lots of 1s and 2s, lots of high ranking performance in the state. Then when we look at grade 5, in particular, when we look at the state ranking for 23 and 24, it's like, oh my gosh, Seminole County, what happened? Well, here's what happened. We accelerated 5th grade students, and you can see 38%, over a third of our 5th grade students were enrolled in 6th grade curriculum and took the 6th grade test. And I'll share those results with you in a moment. And when we look at our middle schools, almost 2/3, 62% of those students are already in high school courses. Now, Ms. Beeman's been extremely clear that we are working on the students who are taking the 5th grade and 8th grade test. That is a priority, and she has already established for us regular reporting to her and to the cabinet, because we have to improve those students' performance too. But this is not apples to apples when you compare state ranking. Obviously, when you look at 3, 4, 6, and 7, those are proficient kids. We're doing great. It's just that we have a different population compared to many districts in the state. And that's because our core belief is serving what students need. And students need acceleration if they're capable. Imagine sitting in 5th grade math when you can do 6th. So that's what those data mean. And it's important to know, as I said, these metrics are all students, not accountability. So when the school grades are calculated, those accelerated students in 5th grade go back to their 5th grade calculation. The students that are in 8th grade go back to 8th grade. They'll count in the achievement cell, and they'll count in the learning gain cell. So then we'll see a better comparison of how we're doing when we look at those grades that we get from the state. And hopefully everybody will be pleased. So let's look at our Ramp 5 students. Those are those 38% who are enrolled in Ramp 5. Look at how many passed the 6th grade test. 97% of 5th graders in Seminole passed the 6th grade state test. And 83% earned learning gains. So I think the evidence is clear. We're providing what students need. They're capable, we give them access and opportunity, and they're performing. And there's, there are, in all situations, there are some families and parents who say, well, I'd rather have my student take a traditional course. That's perfectly fine. That's the parent's prerogative. For many of the students, though, as you can see, the parents are supporting this, and the students are doing a great job. And again, in the red, we see that these students contribute to math achievement and learning gain components. So same with our middle school students here. We had 49% of grade 8 students enrolled in algebra, and then those 13% who are in geometry already passed algebra. They're in 8th grade, and they're enrolled in geometry. Again, 2/3 of our students are capable, and so it's just, we're so grateful that we have that opportunity to give them the advanced courses that they need to take. So when we look at our math rankings, again, we have to remember that With Algebra 1, that encompasses students in 7th grade and 8th grade who are accelerated, and also students first-time test takers in 9th and 10th. So it's a broader range of students, and you could see in Ms. Faison's presentation that they're doing those algebra boost camps. We're going to work really hard to make sure these students at all grade levels have the support they need to be successful on Algebra 1. Geometry, speaks for itself. I don't know how much better you get. So we'll keep working at it, though, because we did have some work we had to do this year. Thank you, Ms. Beeman, for letting us do that. We went to her with a proposal and said, we need to do this. And she was like, okay, give it a go. Hopefully I see the data the way it should be. So I think we did it. And then here are our science and social studies rankings. Again, you can see for yourself the numbers of 1s and 2s and the rankings with all 67 districts. And civics is interesting because we dropped in rank, but our students actually did better than they did the prior year. So what does that tell us? Other districts are accelerating at a more rapid pace. So we've got to, our kids are doing a great job, but we've got to do a little bit better job because we want to accelerate them as well. All right, and this is our science and social studies. Again, lots of 1s and 2s and great state rankings, and all of these data are Florida DOE data. These are not anything that we generate. These come from the state. So Ms. Beeman's been very clear about the continuous improvement efforts that the board and she expect for the 24-25 school year. And so we have been committed, we've been asked to commit to working as hard as we can to make sure students attend regularly. As you know, that's a national problem right now since the pandemic, that students are not coming to school. We want them to come. We are trying to make it exciting and meaningful for them so they want to come. If we get them in school, we can educate them, but we need them to come to school. And then we're going to support them to make appropriate behavioral decisions, because if they have a behavior incident, they're losing instructional time. Even if it's to, get a referral, certainly when it's an in or out of school suspension. And that's valuable time. We need them there. So we want to teach them. We're an educational institution. Teach them what the behavioral expectations are. They misbehave, they get the consequence. No doubt about it. We've always had that hard and fast rule. However, how do we help them make a decision to not have that incident occur in some type of a referral? And then our commitment is always high quality core instruction. We'll do the interventions, we understand that, but we really must focus on every student getting that high quality core instruction in every classroom every day. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Can I ask, does anybody have any questions? I have one question, just for clarification for everyone. First of all, thank you so much, all of you, for all the amazing data and all the information. I think a lot of people don't realize that this is our second year only taking the FAST testing.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
so when you're looking across all the way, 3 or 4 years ago, that's comparing apples to oranges.
Yep.
Because you're looking at, a different test, FSA. And then also, we have new textbooks that the state adopted. So that also plays a part in the calculations of how students do, because we always see a drop sometimes. But really, there's not that much of a drop if you look at the whole formula. And then I think some people may not understand about the lower quartile as well, and how they have shown a lot of gains too, and how that figures into the formula. And the whole big picture is we're doing phenomenal. And kudos to all of our teachers and our administrators, our leaders, for everything that you do day in and day out. We also have to catch students up that just come into our school system for the first time. They may have been homeschooled, they may have been in a virtual school, they may have come in from a different county or a different state. And so that also plays a big part in it. So We have to do all that, and you all have, so thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions? No. Thank you all so much. Do you want to do that?
Very at the end.
Okay. Okay. All right. So, Dr. Cody, again, thank you again. Thank you to all our assistant superintendents and everybody else for a phenomenal job with everything in the data. Okay, so now it's time for board comments, general comments, and Member Pennick, you're first on.
I have none.
All right. Member Davis?
No comments.
All right. Go ahead. Sorry.
That's okay. So, as we have heard, we've been busy all summer long. Our staff has been diligent. Thank you so much for gathering all the data, for planning for our future. And then throughout our schools, we've had phenomenal work. I had the opportunity to attend Mary Poppins, which was a collaborative effort by the Seminole County Performing Arts Organization, which is a collaboration of teachers. The directors this year were Trevor Southworth, Susan Girdman, and Jamal Solomon, and it was a phenomenal program, amazing dance and ensemble work, and as it turns out, Mr. Southworth's two kids starred in the show, and he made the announcement that his wife, who is an assistant principal, Becca Southworth, at Lake Mary High School, was making her off-Broadway debut this summer. Well, as it turns out, my daughter is in New York City, and I had a trip planned, so I was able to go see Miss Southworth and support her from Seminole County Public Schools in her off-Broadway show, which was phenomenal. Her voice, in particular, blew me away. I was so proud of our district personnel and of her principal for giving her some extra time and support so that she could make it to the rehearsals. So that was amazing. And then that was over 4th of July. There were many local celebrations, but I had the opportunity to see Suffs on Broadway, which is a historical musical about the suffragists. And it was incredibly meaningful to see it with my daughter, and such a strong reminder over Independence Day that voting is a hard-earned privilege. And so with that, I'm hoping that we will educate one another. We are in an election season. Folks often don't realize that August 20th is an election day for many of our city and county seats. And so I urge you all to do your homework. We've got a great local group, League of Women Voters, who makes voters education their mission. And so they're hosting tomorrow night a forum here for school board candidates. So I hope that folks will tune in if they can, or show up and do your homework for all of the great candidates and folks that have stepped up to serve. Use your privilege of voting. Please, parents and community members, take your kids with you. Educate them about their voice, and use your voice to reach out to us. We're your elected officials, and we are happy to hear your concerns, your suggestions, and be here to support you. Also, some other great things in the district: ribbon cutting ceremonies. I had the privilege of going to the Health Services Training Center grand opening, where the superintendent and I got to some lessons in nursing. So the superintendent was able to stop the bleed. And I went home and told my daughter that I suctioned a patient. She's an SLP, and she said, "Oh, no, you didn't." I was like, "Well, it wasn't a real patient." She's like, "Oh, thank goodness, because you are not trained." But it was great to get that experiential learning and get a taste of what the folks throughout our district, the hands-on learning that our educators and staff will get to make sure that our students are in the safest hands and have the very best protocols. And then, of course, the Student Success Express, Minnie Cardona, Thank you so much for all of your efforts on behalf of our students. This is a community outreach resource. There's lots of media out there, media reports, so you can look that up, but I am just so proud to be in a district where we continue to excel in the classroom and continue to reach out throughout the community to make sure that we have all the resources that we need to serve our students.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I will be brief. I wanted to thank Red Apple Dining. They are providing meals during the summer break spots. Look on our website for locations. I'm grateful that we're able to offer this to our community. Thank you, Jamie. We all attended the superintendent leadership day
Conference.
and we got to participate in drum circles and bonding. It was amazing. Probably the best one that I've ever attended.
I agree.
So thank you for including us. Thank you for the team that put it together. It was a wonderful opportunity. And I was going to make a shout out to the about the panel tomorrow for the Seminole County Council PTA and League. Hope that you can join us if you can't be here in person. I believe, Katie, is it going to be live streamed?
Yes.
Do you know? Yeah, so you'll be able to watch it online. And that's my official report. Thank you.
So the Superintendent Leadership Conference, I'm going to start off with that, was by far the best ever. Thank you, Superintendent Beeman and leadership team. It was phenomenal. Besides the fact that I didn't follow directions and listen because I had bruises all over my hands because I didn't know I couldn't use my thumbs, but hey, I'm healed. So it was so much fun and extremely engaging, as well as your message that you shared with everybody. It was very moving, and everything you said about connections resonated with me as well as everybody that was in attendance. And it's all about making connections. It's all about working together, collaborating, and doing what's best to serve our students, our families, our faculty, all of our employees. And I don't think a person left there without feeling just absolutely amazing. So thank you. I mean, I want to cry. That's how amazing it was. And I just can't say enough about that. PTA State Conference, Katie Murphy and I had a very busy 4 days at the State PTA Convention. I serve on committees with scholarships and different, I don't know, odd and end jobs there. And we got back on Sunday and took a long nap afterwards. It was a very busy time, but I would say that we raised over, gosh, $15,000 for scholarship money, and that's just the tip of the iceberg for that. I wanted just to mention that for mental health, I had a chance to take a tour of the Lotus House and talk to the doctor there, as well as Michelle Guzman, who runs the facility, just talking about some of the facilities we have and then some that we desperately need as the amount of our families, students that need the mental health services. I also wanted just to talk a little bit about the League of Women Voters, the gun safety luncheon that was really well attended. We had Britt that, along with some students, that did a presentation on it and, about safety. And if you do have anything like that, please make sure it's locked up and please know where I hate to have to say that here, but please, families, know what you're doing. Do not allow any weapons in your home. And I wanted to mention that the Unity Youth Association, I know they just finished off their summer session, and they went to the zoo for the first time. They had a ball. They really enjoyed it. I wanted to mention that earlier today, during our discussion with our lobbyist, Allie Schoonover came in from Tallahassee. We went over some legislative priorities. They were still working on it. So we're moving the needle and doing what we can. There are a lot of back-to-school drives. And if teachers, you're listening, families, you're listening, there are so many back-to-school drives that if you need certain things besides our tools for school, that, you know, for our teachers that are able to get supplies that they need for their classrooms. Multitude of schools or communities, homeowners associations are doing these drives that you can pick up some supplies if you need them. And then I wanted to mention the Stop the Bleed. I went with the nurses. I trained at the end of last year. It's a lot of fun. And for our students to know and everybody else, it's extremely critical for us to do. And that's all I have to say for, in the Seminole Cultural Arts. Keep in mind that there's a lot of art programs that are going on. We have some things going on at the, up at Triplet right now, all throughout the whole month of July and the beginning of August. Thank you. All right, now we are on to our next. It's time for public comment agenda items. Vice Chair, will you go ahead and read the statement?
Yes, thank you. The purpose of the public participation segments of the board meeting is to allow the public to address matters within the board's jurisdiction and not to resolve individual grievances or disputes. Public comments related to education, the board agenda, and the district are welcome and encouraged, but public comment segments are not forums to engage in personal attacks against school system employees or board members. To maintain orderly conduct, the public comment segments of the meeting may not be used as open forums to discuss matters unrelated to education, to support or oppose candidates for public office, including presentation of political and/or campaign issues, announcing candidacy and/or campaigning, or to engage in commercial speech attempting to sell a service or product to the board or the public. Nor are they forums to address matters involving disciplinary actions of any kind, pending claims, complaints, or litigation against the district or district personnel. Public comment segments durations are as follows. Agenda items limited to 3 minutes. One group representative speaking on a proposition, a maximum of 6 minutes. The speaker must remain on topic for agenda item proposition. Non-agenda items are limited to 2 minutes. Speakers shall direct their comments only to the board and may not address the audience or other speakers. No speaker may yield his or her time to any other person. Generally, substitutions of speakers will not be allowed. Thank you.
Thank you. Nina Sandberg, I was trying to get your attention, so that way you could walk up earlier. Thank you. Cute haircut.
I'm Nina Sandberg. There have been complaints from employees, parents, and students that the Student Conduct and Discipline Code has not been actually enforced for 3 years now. One of the #1 reasons why parents yank their kids out of SCPS schools to take advantage of school choice is bullying. Their child is either being physically bullied, threatened, or even beat up at school, or their child is being ruthlessly, emotionally, and mentally bullied, harassed, made fun of, ridiculed, insulted, etc. at school. We are not able to view your newly updated Student Conduct and Discipline Code yet, or your newly updated Discipline Procedures Manual yet. However, it does not matter what these documents say on paper, when in reality we have had 3 entire years of the woke restorative discipline approach in our schools. This approach ties the hands of teachers and administrators and prevents them from even doing the basic, regular, normal discipline that was done in SCPS when I was an SCPS student and when I was an SCPS teacher. The harsh reality is that many parents have yanked their kids out of SCPS when their kids became bullying victims and/or violence victims at school. Likewise, teachers did not quit just because of the poor pay. They also decided that they did not want to work in a combat zone anymore. Basic discipline tools were taken away from the teachers, and they were rendered powerless because of woke policies. When my son was being ruthlessly bullied by students and employees alike in an SCPS combat zone, I had no choice but to yank him out of SCPS because no one would stop it, not even the middle school superintendent herself. My daughter has been offered the Hope Scholarship multiple times because of the bullying inside of SCPS. That isn't the answer. There is really no place to move the middle and high school students to. So just giving them a Hope Scholarship is not the answer. The answer is to stop the bullying, to stop the violence, and to change the culture inside of Seminole County Public Schools. Each school is only as good as its administration. The administration team dictates the overall culture of the school and determines whether it is a positive or negative environment for both the students and the employees. Thank you.
Thank you. And that is it for agenda item comments. And now, Superintendent, do you have any recommendations?
Yes, that the consent agenda be approved as presented.
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, motion passes unanimously. Thank you. All right. Superintendent, do you have any recommendations for student discipline hearings, unfinished business, new business?
New business, absolutely. That the School Board of Seminole County adopt the instructional materials recommendations of the Social Studies Adoption Committee for Advanced Placement Psychology and authorize the superintendent to purchase the committee's choice.
So moved.
Second.
All right, any discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion passes unanimously. Thank you. And now it is board comments for, or superintendent, your report first, sorry.
Thank you, Chair.
No
And my report is mostly included in the book, but I did want to say that today, after the book was already published, had some great news announced for Seminole County Public Schools. I'm going to walk you through a little bit of history and then come back to the great news that we were advised of today. Back in 2019, the SCPS ePathways Office for School Counseling Services partnered with the Regional Education Laboratory, and it surveyed all of our K-12 principals who overwhelmingly identified the implementation of a comprehensive school counseling plan as a top priority. And so the school board's Equity Committee also, in its recommendations, highlighted the need for increased school counseling services to support student achievement and pathway planning. So our board, thank you, approved a new comprehensive school counseling plan in November of 2023. And the board recognized the need for increased school counseling services to support student achievement and pathway planning by revising your strategic plan to include it as a KPI, aiming to increase direct services by at least 5% annually, with the target being 80% direct services to students. To support the identified need for comprehensive school counseling services, under the leadership of Dr. Gart Harrell, the ePathways Department applied for the American School Counseling Association National Pilot. It's a 2-year program worth up to $500,000 and to train and support school counselors and administrators. The ASCA national model helps to develop informed school counseling programs that are systematically delivering services to all students. And today, Seminole County Public Schools was one of 2 districts in the nation that was awarded the ASCA National Pilot Award.
Woohoo! Yes. Only 2 in the nation. That's amazing. Woo! Congratulations.
Absolutely want to thank Dr. Gart Harold, Dr. Nicola Williams, her team, all of our wonderful school counselors for their commitment to our students and to the relentless pursuit of excellence in school counseling. Look forward to what the years will bring.
Congratulations. That's awesome. All right. Now we have board comments, committee updates, if you have any. Member Pennick?
I had no committee update. Mine meets at the end of this week.
All right. Okay.
I went to the District 2 meeting in Sanford, and I just want to again thank our educators who show up along, I would say along my side, but I'm by their side. But again and again, they are there. They bring the reports of what's going on in their area schools and focus on the needs of that particular community. Dr. Mullins has come and talked about our infrastructure and things that are needed there. One of the main topics that we keep hitting is truancy, to make sure that students are in school learning, and that kids can't learn if they're not there. So that was great to serve by their side. And Thursday night is this month's District 2 meeting. So this is at the Velma Williams Center in Sanford, right across the street from Crooms. The meeting starts, I believe, I have to double check, but I believe the meeting starts at 6 o'clock. And that's a meeting with all of the city leaders. We've got the police chief there, the fire chief there, going over some general information. But then there is a huge school supply drive. We will have all of our schools from District 5 there. So if parents are listening, if you'd like to come, you can pick up supplies, but you can also chat with your principals, with their support teams. If you have any questions about, what lunches will be like this year, how you apply for free and reduced lunch, before and after school care, any and all questions will be entertained. And then to piggyback earlier, Ms. Sanchez, you were talking about the number of school supply drives and support for our teachers as well. Just want to confirm that if anybody has a need for either their student or a teacher, to please call the hotline 320-0000, and you can ask for community involvement. And our great leader, Ms. Mills, knows all that is happening in Seminole County. So please don't go without. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. I had the Children's Cabinet, and I will forward the minutes to you all. They had a guest speaker discuss opportunities for financing, interest financing, so that people can get their first or second home. And I thought it was very informative. I'm looking forward to July 29th, and I thank our Seminole County Chamber. They're hosting our second annual State of Our Schools. I know the team is busy working, getting all of that ready to go, so please join us if you're able.
And already sold out, believe it or not.
It is sold out?
Well, we already have seats, all of us.
Okay. Well, I guess you're not going to be able to attend. I'm sorry, but sorry about that. And I would like to ask, our Student Success Express bus is going out into the community. I would like to ask that we could maybe post locations or dates or times on our website, if that would be possible, so that we can refer parents to look where the next one is.
Absolutely. We are thinking of a tab on the page that will forecast where in the community it will be.
Perfect.
And then we can all share that also on social media. Thank you. That's all of my reports.
I had my Value Adjustment Board meeting. Everything's still the same. So that meeting was a couple weeks ago. And then for the Central Florida Zoo Board of Trustees, with the arts bill that was vetoed, some of that trickles down into a lot of different areas that people don't even realize. It did affect the zoo. And so some of our funding that we needed for some, like for example, our crocodile cage, we need extra funding to make sure that the crocodiles don't get loose. I knew you would love that one. And so right now we're working on that. And then in a couple days, we're going on, actually during this, Thursday, we are taking a trip to what is it called? Just lost it. Anyhow, we're going on a zoo field trip a couple hours away from here, and we're going to be learning a little bit about the conservation in the White Oak Forest area, and we will be there all day long for that. And that is the end of my report for my my board or committees. And then now we have board public comments, non-agenda items, and we have Katie Murphy, Deborah Kraus, and Nina Sandberg. And then you'll do one. I'm sorry? Off the. I know. Woo! Are you proud of me? We pinky promised.
No problem. I understood.
Katie understands. She gets it.
Superintendent Beeman and the board, thank you all for everything you've been doing for us. I'm Katie Murphy. I'm representing PTA today. And as you heard earlier, we had our state convention this weekend, which was wonderful. We had 2 of our Seminole County PTA that were elected to the state board of the state executive board. Shelley Pedraza, who's been our county president, is now the Regents and Council vice president for the board, and Karen Mazzola is now our vice president of leadership development. So 2 of the, I believe, 8 people on the executive committee are Seminole County people. Yes. League of Women Voters Forum was mentioned, and I hope to see a lot of you show up tomorrow night for that. You mentioned the housing, and I've already talked with League of Women Voters and PTA about doing a joint presentation on that, so that's in the work. We're getting ready to do our training for all of our new officers. We had quite a few of them show up at the convention, and the convention this year, I don't remember the exact number, but it was well over 50% were brand new people, so we're excited about that. Want everyone to remember that PTA membership is open to anyone, anywhere. You do not have to be a parent. You don't have to be anything but a citizen who's concerned that our children have the best possible choices to get started. Our legislative priorities have been set for PTA, and we're excited about that. And on a different hat that I wear, back to school drives, one of the things I've taken on this year is helping people to understand that the money that comes into the Tools for Seminole Schools can go so much farther than it can go when we go out to the store. And it's fun to go out and buy supplies, and I know people love to do that. But I was so excited when I found backpacks on sale one time for $10, and Becky goes, yeah, I can get them for $6. So knowing that if you're willing to, giving her that money makes it go so much farther.
Thank you. Your time has expired.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Deborah Kraus?
Good evening, members of the board. I'm
Good evening.
Back again. As you know, I'm Deborah Kraus, a longtime Altamont Springs resident. I'm here again on dual enrollment credit towards GPA. And again, I've provided you a copy of the statute as it's provided. I also provided you a copy of the student progression plan, which is proposed for this year. I was sad to see that there have been no changes to it at all, not even correcting the statute number that you guys have been informed is incorrect. As you know, statutes are not open to interpretation, and I believe that this statute, as far as dual enrollment goes, is quite clear. As for Section 9, it does say that the equivalencies for credit shall be determined based on a committee, and they are solely based on comparable course content and not seat time, which is traditionally allocated to such courses in high school. The Seminole County Progression Plan specifically states that they are basing their reduced credits on the length a student enrollment in the dual enrollment course is and not on the credit earned. This is the only area in our entire schools that is discounting credit earned by the students. That's hurting our hardworking students the most. There is no remedy for a student who takes an AP course over the summer or online to have that discounted because they can do it over one semester. The only thing that gets discounted is dual enrollment. And if you look under paragraph 18, which is what the school board relies on, it says that when grade point averages are calculated, alternative grade calculation systems that discriminate against dual enrollment courses are prohibited. So such calculation is strictly prohibited. It's been consistently done. No amendments have been changed. And please at least get the statute number correct for those of us who love the law.
Thank you.
I'm Nina Sandberg. You've known about that issue for over a year, so it should have been fixed by now. Implement the same cell phone policy that Orange County Public Schools has. Spend more time with pencil, paper, and books and less time on computer screens. Get rid of woke restorative justice discipline practices and do normal, proper discipline instead. I do not support no-tolerance discipline as it can turn into child abuse very easily. But woke restorative justice discipline equals no discipline at all and is the other extreme. Go back to normal, regular discipline. Create a truancy task force to get the chronically absent students back in school. Put creative and fun activities that Common Core took out back in the schools so that the school is fun and kids actually want to come to school. In August, give all students in grades 3 through 12 anti-bullying education. Give all students in grades 3 through 12 DARE-style education about bullying, violence, illegal drugs, fentanyl, legal drugs, tobacco, vaping, alcohol, and general personal safety. You have illegal drugs in your schools. Get them out. Our schools are supposed to be drug-free, tobacco-free, vape-free, alcohol-free, violence-free, bullying-free zones. Get rid of the EDI committee and replace it with a properly functioning civil rights compliance office. Obey all civil rights laws and the U.S. Constitution. Bring back a Keys to Character style program to teach good citizenship. Bring back service clubs and school-wide charity projects to teach good citizenship. Change non-agenda public comment time back to 3 minutes. Non-agenda public comment time is supposed to be 3 minutes and not 2 minutes. Stop violating the rights of the citizens during public comment time. Thank you.
Thank you. I know that Ms. Krause had given us this information, and I would love to discuss this further and go over some of the statutes with it, maybe later at a later date or maybe an open board discussion. Thank you. And then, do you have anything before we do the closing?
Well, I know that Attorney Cole Palmer has a request.
That's right, I'm sorry. Yes. You're right, she does. Attorney Cole Palmer.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Superintendent. I would like to request a closed litigation executive session at the next board meeting. On the date of the next board meeting at around 3:30 for advice from the board on litigation Markward versus Seminole County, case number 2022 CA 002903. Also present at that litigation executive session will be our outside counsel, Walt Poor, and a court reporter. In addition, I'd like to also request an executive session at around maybe 4 or so for the advice from the board regarding litigation Johnson versus Seminole County, case number 2022 CA 000832. Present at that litigation session will be outside counsel Dan Dill and court reporter. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. You have anything you want to?
I do have just one more thing before we adjourn, and that is with the approval of the agreement with the Sheriff's Office tonight, Captain Ron Shaw is our new safety security specialist for the district, and would like to say, welcome aboard.
Welcome to have you in our family. We are so happy to have you. And on that note, I just want to wish all of our families, students, teachers, bus drivers, all of our employees, a wonderful remaining of the summer and a fabulous school year. And that if you need anything, please feel free to reach out to any of us. I know that many back to school orientations are getting ready to occur, and I know that our bus department is working as hard as they can diligently to get the routes ready to go for everyone. So please keep up to date with your emails, your Skyward account, so on and so forth, because those should be rolling out shortly. Member Garrick?
I just wanted to say happy graduation, summer graduation
Yes.
to the last of our class of 2024 that made it over the finish line, 94 students.
Yes.
And I want to say thank you to all of the extra efforts that folks put in to make sure that those kids could earn their full high school diploma and all the rights and privileges that come with it. So thank you and congratulations to our 94, wherever they may be.
Yes, thank you. Everybody have a great evening, and this meeting is adjourned at 7:11.